The sun beat down on the dusty training camp as armored trucks rumbled in and out, kicking up clouds of grit. A line of elite recruits stood at attention, their uniforms crisp, rifles gleaming with the latest tech. Laughter broke out suddenly, heads turning as a 17-year-old girl approached the camp gates. Her gear was a patchwork of faded fabric-old army surplus stitched together with uneven thread. Her camouflage looked like it had been dragged through the forest and rebuilt by hand. One of the guards scoffed, nudging his friend. "Is she serious? Looks like someone robbed a scarecrow." The girl didn't flinch. She walked straight and steady, boots worn but firm on the gravel. Her rifle was ancient wooden stock, scratched barrel, but it was clean, maintained with care. The others chuckled louder as she passed, whispering and smirking. "Bet she can't even lift that thing," someone muttered. The drill sergeant raised an eyebrow, scanning her gear with mild disbelief. "Name?" he asked. "Nadia, sir," she replied calmly, eyes unwavering. He paused, then nodded toward the registration tent. "You'll be assessed with the rest, ****. She walked on. One of the elite guards called out mockingly, "Hey, Camouflage Queen, the circus that way?" More laughter followed, but Nadia didn't look back. She adjusted the strap on her shoulder and kept her gaze forward, jaw tight. They didn't know it yet, but this girl in rags had just stepped into their world, would soon shake it to its core. Morning drills began before sunrise, the training ground echoing with barked commands and pounding boots. Nadia lined up at the edge, her patched uniform stiff with overnight dew. The elite guards stood nearby in sleek, form-fitting tactical gear that shimmered with adaptive camouflage. One of them glanced at her and snickered. "You sure you're in the right place?" Push-ups were first. Nadia dropped beside them, her palms sinking into the cold dirt. She strained with each rep, arms trembling, sweat plastering hair to her forehead. The others seemed to do it effortlessly, smirking as they counted in perfect unison. 100, too easy, one boasted loudly. Nadia grunted, managing 30 before her arms gave out. She pushed herself back to her knees, breath ragged. Later. They ran obstacle courses. She scrambled over walls, slipping on the splintered wood, landing hard on her shoulder. She bit back a cry and kept going. Mud soaked her clothes, highlighting every patch and seam. As she climbed the rope, one recruit jogged past and slapped it, making her lose grip and fall. They laughed. "Careful, don't break a nail." During shooting drills, the guards lounged while instructors checked their gear. Nadia sat cross-legged alone, cleaning her old rifle with meticulous care. She watched their posture, the way they adjusted scopes, timing their breathing. She mimicked the motions in silence, memorizing everything. 1 trainee older. Kinder tried to help her up after a fall. She nodded gratefully, but others shoved him aside. "Don't waste your time on the charity case," they said, pushing him back in line. Nadia wiped mud from her face with her sleeve, eyes narrowing in determination. When the whistle blew to end training, she didn't rest. Alone in the twilight, she practiced again and again. The midday sun filtered through the dense trees as the recruits gathered at the edge of the woodland for the camouflage assessment. Instructors with clipboards barked orders. "Blend in. Disappear. You have 20 minutes. We'll find the failures." The elite guards smirked confidently, adjusting their state-of-the-art suits. As they activated their adaptive camouflage, the fabric shifted color, mimicking the browns and greens around them. One even joked, "Try not to trip over your own. Rags farm girl?" Nadia didn't respond. She dropped to her knees, scooping mud into her palms and smearing it over her face, neck, and hands. She tore fresh leaves and stuffed them into the stitched seams of her uniform. She rolled in the dirt to break any outline of shape or color. Her clothing absorbed everything, becoming a chaotic, earthy blend. She checked the wind, noted the light shafts through the branches, and crawled deeper into undergrowth. When the whistle blew, the instructors began their sweep. The elite guards were smug, standing confidently against trees as their suits blurred them from sight. Some even exchanged lazy grins. Nadia lay prone in a ditch, nearly motionless, eyes half closed, breathing slow and quiet. But an instructor's sharp gaze caught movement. "There," he pointed at her shoulder, barely shifting as a bug crawled over it. The others roared with laughter as she sat up slowly, brushing off dirt. "Nice try, Scarecrow," someone called. Another added, "Your fashion show's over." The instructor wrote down her score with a shake of his head. She met his eyes calmly and said, "You only look invisible." "You're not." He paused for a second, surprised at her quiet confidence, before moving on. The elite guards kept laughing, even as they lined up to head back, but Nadia watched them, memorizing every flaw in their movement, every noise they made, every misplaced footstep. Her jaw set with resolve as she followed them out of the woods. The recruits gathered in the open range as the sun dipped low, casting long shadows across the training field. The final challenge loomed. The sniper precision test, a distant metal target, barely the size of a coin, was placed 1,500 meters, away between two ridges surrounded by brush and light wind. Only the best ever scored a clean hit. The elite guards took position first, each equipped with advanced sniper rifles, laser rangefinders, wind compensators, high-zoom thermal scopes. They joked as they set up, "Let's see if her antique even fires." One guard crouched, aimed, fired his shot, nicked the target's edge. A dull ping echoed. "Close enough," he smirked. Another followed, adjusting his scope mid-breath. Miss. The bullet struck low in the grass. One by one, they fired. Some better than others, none perfect. Then it was Nadia's turn. She stepped forward quietly, her weapon wrapped in faded cloth, scratched and aged but clean. She lay flat, elbows planted in the dirt, her breathing steady. She didn't use a rangefinder. She didn't ask for wind speed. Instead, she felt the breeze on her cheek, observed the flicker of leaves in the distance, and made a silent calculation. Snickering behind her. Watch her miss the whole hill. Someone mimicked a misfire sound, but Nadia ignored it all. Her finger tightened on the trigger. A heartbeat, then silence. She fired. A sharp ping rang through the air, sharper, louder than before. Dead center. The instructors froze. The elite guards' laughter choked off instantly. One leaned forward. "No way!" The drill sergeant walked to the monitor in disbelief. The bullet had struck the exact center of the target, a perfect bullseye. No tech, no upgrades, just precision. Nadia stood slowly, dusting off her uniform, her expression unchanged. The field was dead silent. Even the wind seemed to hush in that moment. A heavy silence blanketed the range as Nadia stood up. Her rifle slung over one shoulder. The metallic echo of her perfect shot still lingered in the air, like a ghost that refused to fade. The elite guards who had spent days mocking her stood frozen mouths slightly open, eyes darting from the target to her and back again, as if trying to make sense of what had just happened. The drill sergeant, usually stern and unreadable, approached her slowly, his boots crunching on the gravel. He looked down at the data tablet, then up at the distant target, then back at Nadia. "Dead center," he said, almost in disbelief. "No scope, no support, no tech." His voice trailed off. Not from confusion, but awe. Then he straightened, gave her a sharp nod, and unthinkably raised his hand in salute. One of the guards, the loudest one from earlier, stepped forward hesitantly. His cocky smirk was gone, replaced with something else. Shame, maybe even respect. "That was... lucky right," he muttered, not meeting her eyes. Nadia didn't answer. She didn't need to. She walked past them without a word, her face calm, her gaze ahead. As she passed through the group, the elite guards instinctively stepped aside, creating a quiet corridor for her. No one dared speak now. The same girl they had called a joke, a charity case, a scarecrow, had just outperformed every one of them with nothing but raw skill. At the edge of the range, one of the instructors leaned toward another and whispered, "She just made them all look like amateurs." The sergeant called out. Recruits dismissed, but no one moved. All eyes remained on Nadia as she walked away alone, silent but now completely unstoppable.